Another shock support came to Ukraine from Israel, which has close relations with the United States, full support for the Ukrainian army. While everyone was talking about why Israel does not support Ukraine, it turned out that Israel has been providing unofficial support to the Ukrainian army for a long time. The heroic Ukrainian army, which has received a lot of support since February 24th, when the war began, is also receiving a huge and meaningful support from Israel. Meeting with Turkey, Israel learned about the cost situation of Bayraktar TB2s. Israel, which has decided to pay for Ukraine by covering the cost of several of them, will send Bayraktar TB2s to Ukraine after paying the cost to Turkey. The Israeli administration, which wants to increase the number of Bayraktar TB2s, which are a very meaningful donation for the use of the Ukrainian army, will also discuss this issue with Turkey. The US State Department thanked Israel after learning this news. The attack against Russian President Vladimir Putin came from his own parliament. Due to the turmoil and economic crisis that Russia is currently experiencing, many researchers were saying that Ukraine would make a move now, but before Ukraine, Putin was attacked from somewhere else. The opposition authorities in Russia seem to have started working to dethrone Vladimir Putin. Russian dissidents are making statements in some cities in Russia talking about the current economic crisis and sanctions. Visiting Russian citizens on the street and making statements against Putin, opponents seem confident that Putin will not win in the next election. Opposition officials promised Russian citizens that Russia will return to its former state, that the embargoes and sanctions imposed by many countries will be completely lifted. It seems that the dissidents who want to take advantage of the turmoil in Russia do not want to miss this opportunity. We are giving you the breaking news. The G7 leaders are holding an emergency meeting on Ukraine. It was announced that the G7 leaders will hold an emergency meeting. Responding to Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky's call for help, the G7 countries announced that Ukraine's resistance leader Vladimir Zelensky would also speak at this meeting. Vladimir Zelensky will make a speech and explain the latest details of the war with the occupying Russia to the G7 countries. The G7 countries, which will try to provide the assistance that Ukraine wants, will think jointly and try to deliver the air defense systems that the Ukrainian army especially need to Ukraine as quickly as possible. In addition to the Ukrainian army, the G7 countries, which will also help the Ukrainian people, are expected to donate a large amount of money to the Ukrainian people. Support will be given to the Ukrainian people to overcome the economic difficulties during the war period. We will continue to transfer critical hours in the war to you. The invading Russia carried out an attack on the warehouse where the US aid was located, and Biden was very angry. Attacking the aid sent by the United States for the freedom of Ukraine since the beginning of the war, Vladimir Putin announced that the ammunition depot containing US-made HIMARS multi-barreled rocket launcher missiles sent to Ukraine was attacked. Igor Konashenko, a spokesman for the occupying Russian Defense Ministry, announced that Russia had indirectly attacked US munitions. Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Igor Konashenko announced that they attacked the area in Donetsk where the US-made HIMARS and the ammunition depot of the heroic Ukrainian army, where the US aid was taken, are located. After the statement, the United States took immediate action and met with Vladimir Zelensky about the situation. The US administration, which said that new aid will be delivered to Ukraine immediately, reiterated that Ukraine will be helped to the fullest against the invading Russia. He announced that he would no longer respect Vladimir Putin. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, a close friend of Vladimir Putin, who tried to maintain a neutral attitude at the beginning of the war, has now officially announced that he has switched to the Ukrainian side. Turkish leader Erdogan